Hey everybody, I hope you are having a great Wednesday. Welcome to the live stream. A little bit later than usual because it took a while for me to really get this painting set up, a lot longer than I thought. So I hope everyone is doing really well. I was hard at work all day making sure that this live stream is going to happen. So let's see what we have here. So today we're not going to have the wheel of names, and the thing is what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and work on part one. Part one's very involved, so no wheel of names, you know. And yes, definitely the sketch is huge, Mark. So let's say hello to some peeps here. So we have Wendy. How you doing, Wendy? Welcome back. And we have Mark Webb. How's it going? And then we have Blue. How are you? How are you, Honey Rivera? And we have Mark Webb. I don't know if I said hello to you yet. Let's see who else we have. Move this over here a little bit. Let's see, we have Patty. Hey Patty, how you doing? And we have Mr. Mike DeLoach. How are you? That's fantastic. Kind of like air guitar. That's cool. And I sent everybody the photo so you could work with me. You know, whatever way you want to get that on your surface. You know, you could use projector, grid method, you know, Surreal paper, you know, putting graphite on the back of the photo, and, you know, doing the lines with a pen. You can transfer it that way. So many different ways. Let's see who else we have. Mr. Roy, how are you? That's so cool to see you. Colette, hey Colette, how you doing? Great to see you. Hey John, how's it going? Happy birthday, John. And let's see, John Diekman, how are you, sir? All the way from Wisconsin. Always good to see you. How's it going? And let's see who else we have. I think that's everybody for now. So what I did was I went ahead and sent the photo to everybody. So in case you wanted to paint along, you can. I think that's pretty cool. Especially, you can always look at it tomorrow, because I always go ahead and leave it on there for you, so you can, you know, see it after it's over. You don't have to see it. Hey, Mr. Johnson, how are you, sir? Good to see you. So glad you're here. We have quite a number of people here today, and that's nice. So I like to start it out really healthy like this. And let's see, is that everybody? I think that's everyone. Okay. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. So what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and begin with the white mixture, right? Everyone's favorite mixture that isn't ink. You know, so let's go ahead and put that in here. Let's see. Not that much, because actually that's way too much, because the head size that I'm working on, she's only about maybe 4 inches from forehead to chin. So really that was overkill as far as how much white mixture I put in there. Whenever you use anything, whether it's, you know, my ink mixtures, the white mixture, Createx, Golden, you always want to test your airbrush when you first put it on. You know, make sure the needle's not too far back when you cleaned it, all that stuff. Check your MAC valve or PAC valve, depending on what airbrush you do have. Oh, Oh, you don't have ink in your printer. Oh, that's a bummer. Oh, but don't worry, it's going to be up here, so you're still going to be able to see it. Okay, so what I want you to do is put that in there, 25 psi, lower it so you get even more of a probably maybe about 20 to 15. I want you to be about 4 inches away, right? See, 4 inches. Now, the thing is, you have to, it's very important, you have to make sure that you maintain your distance. You can't go 4, 3, 2, 2.5, 4, 6, and expect to have a nice smooth gradation, because from every different distance there's going to be a different application to the paper with the white mixture. Alright, that's so important. My kettle's going to go off in a quick second, so I need a cup of tea today. You all just don't know. So hey there, Raul, how you doing? Way to go, Raul, I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so here we go. So 4 inches away. Oh, Pure Ref, right? Come on, I got to get my Pure Ref out here. Okay. Now, when you paint the white, you are not painting the highlights. You are painting the local color of the skin, right? And the light areas, not the shadows. So you're not painting the highlights, but the local colors. See this? I have this is actually covering up the, which is really cool, covering up the little hairpin that she uses to kill people. In the movie, in the mini-series, which is, see that? Very light, super, super light, you know? Caffeine pills are cool. Yes, tea time blue, definitely. Subtlety. That's what I want you to have, subtlety. It might look like nothing's coming out. Just wait, something is coming out. Because when you first do the white, it comes out wet and it makes the paper darker. But once it dries, the white shows up. You're going to have a lot more white than you think. So you need to chill out. Stay at your 4 inches, okay? There we go. So this is Mylar, Wendy. So, you know, which is really cool. You better than paper because you can see through it and you can see if you're placing it correctly, right? And let's see here. Great question, Wendy. 4 inches. You're living in 4 inches right now. That's where you live, 4 inches right now. And you're going to let this build up. Okay. Step back and take a look at the white. And I will be right back. Raul really wants one of my custom airbrushes. Oh, great. So definitely, I'll definitely make one for you. I just shipped out one the other day. Yes, I'll be right back, my friends. Talk amongst yourselves. Getting there. kitchen, so I'm not rushing like crazy. It's going to be the best tea ever. Okay, so we got our green tea in our Ink Flingers mug, which is, everything always tastes best in the Ink Flingers mug. Everyone knows that. Let's see. Where is my Ink Flingers glove? Now on the Ink Flingers gloves, I am in the process of packaging them all up, and those who haven't received it yet, we'll get them in a few days. So please have patience with me. Actually, this is lemon and sugar. Nice and sweet. That's how I like it. Okay, so watch this. I'm going to show you something real quick because you think that you don't have a lot of white on there. Au contraire. We'll just lift this up as so. Look at how much white's on there. Quite a bit more than I would normally think, right? So you want to definitely err on the side of the light. Okay, so definitely make sure that happens. So Steve says he doesn't like acetate. Much more preferred always sand his mask smooth. Very cool, very cool. You do some great stuff, Steve. So the proof is in the pudding with your technique and how your paintings come out. So bravo for that. Okay, so let's continue and erase any pencil lines that you feel may get in the way. Okay. 4 inches. Give it a chance to, don't go over it again until it dries. It takes about a half a second for it to dry. So with 4 seconds, you're going to have a great smooth application. There we go. So that's a nice application. Maybe a little bit more here. And I think I'm happy with that. Oh, you hate Mylar. Okay, I understand, sir. I understand. And let's remove this. We want to have that base where the white is much brighter than what's underneath. Maybe right here. Just a little bit right there. Okay, so we'll lift this up and we'll see how it looks. Proof is always in the pudding. There we go. So you see that? So I really like that. I think that's pretty good. And then that's really what we want. We just want to bring that a little bit further up. And oh, using the white is the white mixture that that you can purchase on my website. You have the Airbrush India inks and the white mixture. White mixture is basically my own version of Drew Blair's 50/50 illustration white. I go ahead and I thin that down so it works perfectly with this technique. So that's really cool. So let's see what we have here. What's the next step, you ask? I'm asking that question as well. Let's see. Okay, so we want to start coming in with the detail mixture. So I'm just going to put this on here. And you see I have the drawing, but this is just going to give me a little more structure. Just a little more structure. See, I need a little more structure in my life. And it's all lined up very nice. So now, see, I have my white mixture, and I'm going to retire this for the evening. I'm just going to put this aside. So, and be right back. Put this over here. Okay, so now, we're going to come in with my Xtreme Patriot arrow, everyone's favorite airbrush. Hopefully everyone's favorite airbrush. I know it's mine. And so it's my customized version. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the detail mixture in here. Dun dun dun, detail mixture. So that's really good. Paper is pebble gray. Thank you, Wendy. I appreciate that. And it's Drew Blair's 50/50 illustration white, and I mix it, I dilute it, and it's perfect with this technique. So very cool. Okay, so here's Mr. Detail Mixture. You go through this a lot, so this is the best thing since sliced bread. The detail mixture makes me happy. Put that over there. So with the amount of, I would say you'll go through a bottle a month if you're working every day. But you know, it just gives you so much detail. It's going to make you all happy too. So yes, the color line paper, so that's important. Oh, thank you so much, Wendy. And Steve says, Wendy, you get to sand back the rough edges with a light sandpaper. Oh, he's talking about the Mylar. I understand, sir. Okay, so let's go ahead and you're going to go very low pressure. And of course, you're going to test your airbrush before you go ahead and bring that anywhere near your artwork. And we're just giving structure. You have to make sure that you do not oversaturate here. That's crucial. Very, very important. You can hold down, whether you're using paper, shields, or Mylar, or acetate, you can always hold that down. Like I said, we're just giving some structure here. Just a little structure. And this way we have a nice skeleton to work with. Okay. Like I said, this is very, Very light. We're just giving a little bit of structure. That's all we're doing here. There we go. Now, before you go ahead and say, okay, we're done. Nope, you want to be able to peel it up, and then you can see how it looks. Much better, right? Okay, so you see we have the establishment of the mouth, you know, and we protected her teeth, mostly. And we're just going to go from there, and let's see. So now we'll lift this up. We'll put this aside, and you see how we're just getting some of the skeleton, so to speak. That's all we want to do. We want to have the skeleton. So let's put this here. And what we're going to do is we're going to lightly paint in those beautiful lips of Jodie. Let's see. Put the magnets real close. Yes, these are masks that I cut myself. I mean that I cut myself. Now when you take my class, I can go much deeper into this with you all. And that would be something that would be really great. But this is just a quick overview of how I start a painting. Now you can use the football method. Remember, I did the football method with you all last week. That was low tech. So this is more of a high tech kind of approach. And as you see, let's lift this up and see what we have. Dun dun dun. Okay, so a good start. And that's all we want. We want that great start. That's what's important. So you definitely need that great start. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cover everything but her head. And we're going to be working on her face tonight. So let's make that happen, because cleanliness is really important when you are painting. It's so important. It's super important. Mondo important. And so we're just going to put this over here like this. Cat hairs. You know, it's hard to be super clean when you have a little kitty that comes on my studio table when I'm not in the studio. Oh boy, look at that. And it sticks on the Mylar. Ah, kitty. Okay. There we go. So this is where the work happens, right? We're going to do some work now, which is really good. You know, yes, next to godliness. That's what they say, my friend. So now everything's covered, and now what we're going to do is we're going to work on her face, on her cute face. And let's see. Hey, there he is, Mr. Todd. How are you, sir? Always a pleasure. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to erase as we go, right? We want to make sure. Now, pencil lines are important. Remember, pencil lines, you know, those who have taken my classes know that pencil lines are basically training wheels. And you don't want to take your training wheels until you have balance of your painting, right? Definitely don't want to do that. Let's see. So Mike, are you leaving? Someone says Mike's good night, Mike. I hope you're not leaving, Mike. It's always great to see you. Oh, it says you've been trying to hold out, but it's not happening. Oh, okay, Mike, you have a great night. Always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you so much for taking the time and making the live stream that much better with your ideas and your questions. You know, you're really an important part of the live stream, sir. So I like painting with the detail mixture. It's almost like painting on wet oil paints, right? You know, you have that kind of fluidity, which is really out of this world. If you haven't tried the detail mixture, highly, highly recommend it. Okay, so we're going to continue working the eyes. So yeah, I'm sorry, there's going to be no wheel of names today because it's part one. Part one is usually intense. So look how soft and beautiful the light mixture really is, you know. The detail mixture. Mark says, the detail mix same as the light mixture? No, it actually is a new addition. And the new addition I came out, because you know what, I love the light mixture. But then I was like, you know, there are times when I just need a little more control. When it comes to painting, airbrushing, I am a control freak. That is not an overstatement. So, so basically, you know, I found a way to go ahead and lower the air pressure and dilute the light mixture down to create this, which is really out of this world. You're gonna love it. Distance is everything, my friends. Always play with the distance. You know, get that distance down. It's going to be the difference. If you can gauge the difference, the distance, you'll have so much control of your airbrush. It's not funny. It's going to be great. So Steve says, Tim Acetate makes a wet media version that holds paint instead of letting it overspray bead on your mask. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that tip. Very good. Always love your input, Mr. Steve. Thank you. And we'll just come over here. Very, very lightly. I'm very far away. Being very, very light with my application here. Same thing over here. Now what's really cool is that I have this mylar actually covering up the hairpin that she has in her mouth. Hey there, Mr. Tone. How are you, sir? Good to see you. How's everything going in the airbrush business over there in Queens? Always a pleasure, my friend. Continue. You want to be careful not to go too dark too early. Too dark too early, too bad. So let's not make that, let's not let that happen, right everyone? Okay. Okay, so you see we're just doing an overall of the, always great that you're airbrushing, so your work's fantastic. And let's see. So we want to go ahead and work on her forehead. Forehead is not an oversight. It definitely is. Definitely has a lot of volume, twists and turns, muscles. Right here it's much darker. Okay. So now what we'll do is we'll lift this up and then we'll come in and we'll start doing a little more detail and we'll lift all of this up. So as you can see, not a bad start, definitely. And let's see here. So we'll go ahead and we'll zoom in and we'll work on her eyes. And of course we'll lower our pack valve so this way we have less spidering. You'll have some spidering, but you'll have less. Definitely in spidering, less is more, am I right? There we go. Nice detail there. Let's move on over to the other eye. Same thing. And think of the light mixture as just sketching, right? That's all it is. It's just sketching. Okay. Let's work on a little bit of the lower eyelid there. Just darken it up a bit. Maybe I can raise that air pressure up a little bit. Hey there, Mr. Rick, how's it going? Good to see you. Make sure there's no tip dry. And we'll just get a little more refined with that eyebrow there. You can really get in there with this airbrush. Okay, and we work on this dark right here in the forehead. Now I like a challenge, and the challenge is this is a very small portrait, but like I said, it's going to be a challenge, and I just love challenges. And we'll just bring this dark down. Let's move on over to the other eye. We can be a little more refined with the second eye here. Let's do that together. That's pretty cool. 18 years old with 39 years experience. I love that. Okay. Let's go ahead and work on her eye here. And as I said, you can actually feel like you're working with, watercolors, So let's continue here. Let's see. Try not to get too linear. Okay, and so with the pencil lines, we'll be erasing them off, but you can see we're getting much cleaner. Let's see here. Okay, so you see, as we're going to be moving down the center line of the head, and we're just going to be refining, but we have to make sure we don't go too far ahead of ourselves, because that could be really bad. So let's just make sure we do that. Right here. We'll use our freehand shield, perpendicular and not parallel, and we'll just get that dark edge over here. And we're gonna go ahead and work on the cast shadow from her glove, and there's a beautiful light that's right there, so we're gonna show that light off by putting in the dark next to it. Okay, Now I do see the ear, so let's delineate that ear, okay? So right here comes out right about here. We just want to make sure that we take a mental note of it. Just a little bit right here, and then right here it comes out. And let's see if I think if I go ahead and cover up the face instead of having the face open, but have the face covered up, I can keep things clean. So I kept the positive here, which is cool. We'll put this right here, make sure this lines up. Yeah, this way we can keep that really nice hard edge. When you have something like this, you don't have to worry about maybe like over here it doesn't line up. We're only working on this over here, so this is the crucial side. So let's make sure that what's lining up is, you know, it's only important if it's on the side that you're working, what you're masking off. But if you're doing the whole thing, then you have to make sure it all lines up. Okay. Let's see here. Just going to put in some of these darks just to ground the picture here. Same thing over here. We have her ear, and we can ground this picture a little bit. Just a little bit like that. John, I think that's not true. The missus probably, most definitely doesn't agree, sir. Okay, so like I said, I just want to ground it a little bit, so I'm just going to paint in some of these darks here. Same thing, you want to spray away from your freehand shield, right? So important, as opposed to spray towards it, towards your shield, because when you spray towards it, it can go underneath. So you're kind of always combating that, right? So those who are painting along, make sure you stay very, very light. That's very important in this stage. Light is always right when it comes to this technique. So please make sure. Too dark, too early, too bad, right? So always make sure that we go ahead and stick with my program. I won't steer you wrong. There we go. Okay. So where else are there some really nice darks? I'm going to stay away from the gloves just yet. I don't want to get premature with that. So let's go ahead and lift this up, and we'll see how it's coming, right? Just slowly but surely. We'll just stick with the program. So as you can see, we are getting there, right? Not too bad, not too bad. Yes, always stick with the program. Good advice, Steve, definitely. And also what we want to do is we want to erase as we go, but more importantly we want to make sure we get our tea. That is so amazing. So I will be right back, and hold your questions and give me one moment. Okay, thank you so much for holding, everybody, and I am back, and we're going to continue working on this piece here. Let's see. There we go. Definitely tea time always. That's always the best. Okay, so we're gonna slowly erase as we go, as I said. You know, the pencil lines, they are the training wheels, so you have to know when to get rid of them. And when you get rid of them, you know that the painting is coming along really well. You don't need it anymore. Let's see here. I'm going to use a little bit more of an aggressive eraser. Go. There's she coming. Thanks, John. John says don't forget to hit the like button. That's pretty cool of him. I appreciate that. So as you see, when we get rid of the pencil lines, we get rid of a lot of the blotchiness. But in the beginning you need that because you need to sketch where you want everything to go. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you so much. Put in some of these nice darks here. Think of these like accents on a word. As you can see, this $149 airbrush does everything that a $500 or $600 Iwata can do. When I was selling cameras back in the 90s, I was selling at a place called Ritz Camera, and it was like worldwide back then. Not worldwide, but nationwide. Had like 500 stores. So I started off in the photo lab developing the film, which was really cool, but then they promoted me to sell the cameras, you know, the professional line cameras, the point and shoots, and I was in Orlando and it was all tourists. And so at first I was struggling with sales, but then I just said to myself, I'm just going to sell cameras that I feel that the customer needs, that I believe that the customer needs. And I know through research that the camera I'm going to push is going to be the camera that's perfect for them. Now, it might be sometimes that the camera is more expensive. If they're professional, they might go with a Nikon or something, or a Canon. But if they're just point and shoots and it's, you know, they're going to be having it on a vacation and they really aren't camera enthusiasts, I would probably point them to a less expensive camera. Well, with that and me being as honest as I am, I ended up being sales excellence many, many months that I was there. Now I think that's something like $36,000 camera equipment sold, and I was a part-timer, and I was beating a lot of the full-timers because it's easy to sell something that you believe. That's my whole point. If you believe it, you can sell it because you know it's the right thing for the customer. So I say that to say this, that's why when I sell my customized Xtreme Patriot arrow, the India inks, I believe it so much, and I know it works, and I know it's best for those who are, you know, working in airbrush. So that's why it's easy for me to sell it. If you believe in it, you can sell it. If you sell something you don't believe, it's deceitful. So that's why when I say, you know, that the Xtreme Patriot arrow, my customized version, is a great airbrush, it's because I'm coming from a place of knowledge. And the same thing with the Airbrush India inks. It just gives you such Take care, Steve. Always a pleasure, sir. Have a great night. That's why I honestly feel that, you know, when I push the Extreme Patriot arrow, I'm doing the customer or the artist a favor. And so that's why when I ever say, you know, hey, this can do anything that the Iwata, I'm not knocking Iwata. What I am is I just believe that this is such an amazing value that if I use it all the time, I know that could be the same enjoyment that you all can get out of it. So that's why. Hey, Nameless, how are you today? Good to see you. So glad you're here. Hey, have a great night there, Mr. John Diekman. Make sure you check this out tomorrow or when you have time. And, you know, I did send you the image. So I'd love to see, you know, if you could paint along, John. That would be great. Thank you. Thank you so much, John Diekman. I appreciate that. And thank you so much. I mean, so much there, Total Pain. I really appreciate that, John. Okay, I'm pretty good at cameras. First thing is, what is the use of your camera there, sir? You know, what are you going to be using it for? So as you see, you know, we already have a little bit of a likeness, so we're not really looking for a likeness. Oh, okay. So, Mark, I think what I'll do is, if you can just IM me your email address, I'll send you that picture, sir. So that's cool. And Roy, we'll talk, I'll email you tomorrow. We'll talk about the images if you can't see them. They're a little bit special for you there, sir. So I have to talk to you about that one. Model those forms. Good question. So Brad said no white on the arm. The arm comes later. So I did not want to work on that at the same time because the arm on the over here has a bit more modeling here and it has the hair. So I definitely want to do that separately. So, and there's a little bit of flesh over here too. So those are the two things that I'm going to definitely do separately. Good question, sir. Live feeds and photos. Second question, Tone, what is your budget? and I'll have several suggestions for you that, you know, really could help. And then I have one more question after the budget. Okay, now we can get rid of a little more of those those pencil lines. Remember what I always say, pencil lines are like training wheels. Once you have them down, you can go ahead and you can get rid of them, but not too soon. I don't want Miss Comer angry at me, so I gotta make sure that I don't get rid of the pencil lines too early. See that? Yes, but you have to have a pragmatic approach, and so these are very isolated areas, and I definitely don't want to do them the same time as the face. So good question though. At the Canon M. Okay, so basically the camera that I do recommend. Now I have a camera which is the Canon. I have the Canon SL3, which is fantastic. The Canon, if you don't want interchangeable lenses, $500 to $700, that's good. That opens up a lot for you. So yeah, definitely the camera I have, the SL3 is a really nice camera. The M50 is really great. The M50 Mark II, that's really good. And you can grow with the cameras. Now remember, the difference between the Canon M50 and the Canon SL3 is that the SL3 is a DSLR, but the M50 Mark II is a mirrorless. Did you have a Canon DSLR before this, sir? So Mark says the right eye needs to catch up. Okay, yeah, but you know, you have to work the whole painting first. But that's a good point, you know. Remember the 81. Oh, that's old school, Mark. Definitely. That's definitely old school. And we're just slowly getting rid of those pencil lines. very, very slowly. Yeah, definitely. I will send that pic. Just go ahead and instant message me, and I'll get that out to you, sir. Very cool. Yeah, it's going pretty quick, but we did start late, though, Wendy. That's for sure. And let's see if I can come back with the knead eraser and get rid of more pencil lines. The pencil lines are what's going to make things look a little blotchy at this stage, but we'll get rid of them. But let me turn off the overhead light there. And let's see. Okay, so let's work on these eyes again. We'll blow it up. I don't recommend going in with the, definitely don't recommend going straight in with the airbrush. This might be more territory if you're working along using the paintbrush. There we go. See if I could sharpen this up a bit, everybody. There we go. Lighten it up a bit. That's a little better. Okay, let's go ahead and make this happen, everybody. Just kind of get a little more refined each time you make a pass. Do not rush it. Right here, what that is. Go. All right, let's zoom out. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's see what we have here. So Tone says, I never been airbrushing other people's pics forever, and I think I'm about painting what I see for a change. Cool. Mark says, there's the image, just need to convert to be in black and white. Very cool. And yeah, the Mark 5, the Mark M50 Mark II is really good. That's a really fantastic. Yeah, Mark, I'll go head to head with anybody with a Iwata, you know, and I have no problem. I definitely feel that this little guy, and then this one I also did my own customization, which is, I also made that for several people, which is the same airbrush with a larger cup. So it really is great. Hey Paul, how you doing? Good to see you. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming by, sir. I really, really appreciate your time and everything. Okay, so now let's see if we could work on her mouth and a nose a little bit. Let's start with the mouth. So let's get rid of some pencil lines here. There we go. And I'm going to sharpen this to a really nice point because I want to make sure I isolate her teeth. Tone says that's a hot pick. Nice shadows, leather gloves. Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely we'll send that to you, sir. Yeah, that's why it's a real challenge. You know, especially with an open mouth as opposed to a closed mouth. That's a real challenge. Okay, and let's see if we can refine her nose a little bit here. You can see I'm working on that real teeny tiny little cast shadow of the wing of her nostril. Oh, Brad said he just ordered another airbrush from me. He sure did. And he'll have the 5th. That's so cool. I really appreciate it. Yes, I'm working on an airbrush for Brad as we speak. But, you know, to get just the right amount of ink or paint without having to struggle, this pack valve that's on the front of the airbrush really does wonders. Just the right amount of paint. Just the right amount. Okay, so you see, look what I was able to do with her nose. Pretty detailed, getting in there. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, nameless subscriber. Thanks for welcoming Paul. That's so cool. And thank you, Wendy. And again, getting rid of pencil lines as we go. Remember, they're training wheels. We get rid of them when we don't need it, but not a second before. Okay? Not a second before. A little bit of a hard edge right there. You want to make sure we get that before we let go of that pencil line. Everything looks dark right now because we're still using the detailed mixture, but you know, as we slowly darken up, all these values are going to get much, much darker. There we go. Yeah, definitely. This definitely was a little bit later today, just because there was a lot of work I had to do to get ready. There we go. So I'm getting very happy with the first day. So this is like the first hour and a half, which is not bad. I think my technique is a lot faster than other techniques out there. But always remember, I'm staying very light, right? Very, very light. Just stick with the program, guys. That's all you need to do. And now I can get rid of the pencil line over here. See that? And now she just gets more refined as we speak. A little bit darker over here, so I'm going to be about 4 inches. Just work on this forehead. Remember, her forehead is not going to be just a like a metal panel or something. There's a lot of bone and skin and stuff going on, you know. Oh, I wish. Unfortunately, we're going to stop at 11:30, but I think we got a lot in here with the 11, you know, in an hour and a half. So I'm pretty happy with how much we were able to accomplish today. And let's see about any more erasing. Here we go. So let me just get this hard edge here. Great, and then I'm going to set up to erase that. Remember, this is a small head, and I did this all freehand so far. You know, not using any paint brushes, all airbrush, I should say, not freehand. Okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and erase that pencil line I had there. I had to wait for the ink to dry. But you see I'm able to erase that. And now things are looking much better. And come in with my aggressive eraser here. And we can erase this right here. And maybe some more erasing right over here. Erase some of the pencil lines here on the upper lip. So we have a really nice feeling of that lip being integrated with the face, which is important. Angela says, Sweet Alabama, because Wendy went to Alabama. So, okay, so right now everything looks pretty good. It's 11:23. I do have something which is cool. And let's see. Great, I could definitely cover up the background so I don't mess up as I work on the hair. So we'll definitely do that. And also what I could do is also cover up the face. And then this way I could freely work on the hair without worrying about any kind of overspray. So it's just really thinking ahead, right? You want to think ahead and keep your paintings as clean as possible. And that's the whole thing in a nutshell. Okay. Okay, so now we're just going to make sure we position our magnets so we don't get any bellowing underneath, right? We don't want that. Okay, so let's go ahead and start working on the large shapes of her hair. You're not painting a helmet, but you want to first get those large shapes. Okay. And again, we're working with this light mixture. And we're just painting the large shapes. That's all we're doing. Basically, sometimes, you know, last time with Queen's Gambit, I used the paper with the football method, you know, cutting it out. So I think there was 5 there, probably about 5 tonight too. So usually about 5. I don't do more than that. Sometimes a lot less. Good question there, Blue. Okay. But it's all basically, you know, just to keep things as clean as possible. if you don't, so there's a camera out there called the Sony. I think it's called the ZV something, ZV-1. Have you thought of that? That does everything. It has a zoom. It has, you know, a mic output. It's really fantastic. I'm going to send you some information on that one, Tone, just to give you a point and shoot that might be something. Really has like a, you know, lets in a lot of light, great focusing. It really is amazing. Just the large shapes, just establishing, you know what I mean? Not going towards the edge because I don't want to create a hard edge because her hair is a lot going on in her hair. There's a dark right here next to her glove, like a pretty cool dark triangle right here. Oh, this is, I believe it's 3mm or 4mm, Mark. I'm not sure. I believe it's 4. Let's see. As you can see, it's just the large shapes that I was after. And that will be it for the evening. So I'm just going to go ahead and lift everything up here. And then we'll pick this up next week. So I'm really happy with part 1. I mean, we did that in an hour and a half. So let's take a look. Okay, not bad. Not bad for the first time, you know. And yeah, I wanted to, you know, cut easily, so that's why I picked the 4mm. But, so this is basically what we did so far, you know. As far as the first hour and a half, we have a lot taken care of. It's very clean, and that's what's important. When we come back, we're going to resolve the hair, not to its finished point, but get it to where it's kind of incongruent with the face. And then what we're going to do is we're going to work on the gloves first. And then we're going to work on the arms and get those lights, you know. Paul, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you come by next week. If you have any questions, email me, paintingclips@gmail.com. Thank you, everybody. It was a lot of fun. Sorry for the half hour later, but, you know, I had to prepare for this. So thank you, everybody, for the wonderful comments. Thanks, Wendy. Everybody, I hope you have a great night. Take care of yourselves. Email me, paintingclips@gmail.com, if you want me to send you the photos so you can actually work along with this. I'm going to leave these on the live stream. So take care, and I hope to see you during the week and next week. Hey, Hillbilly, good to see ya. So glad you made it, sir. So everybody, take care, Blue. And I will